or the Philippine Clean Air Act. What is the air quality forecast for the Philippines? A survey conducted by IQ Air in 2020 estimated the population to be in excess of 109 million people. AQI for Manila recorded levels of 91 US AQI, which classifies it as moderate. According to IQR's report with regards to the most polluted countries in 2020, we have here the top 10. First is Bangladesh, then Pakistan, India, Mongolia, Afghanistan, Oman, Qatar, Kyrgyzstan, Indonesia, and then we have Bosnia. While for the Philippines, we ranked on the 70th place. While on the other hand, we have here the top 10 most polluted city according to the report provided by IQ Air, dated July 6, 2021. Coming in on top, we have Butuan. Next is Batak City, Ilocos. Third is Davao City. Fourth, Taguig. Fifth, Parañaque. Then Cavite City, Quezon City. 8th is Bulacan. 9th place, Pasig City. And 10th, we have Makati. We have RA 8749, or the Philippine Clean Air Act, which was enacted on June 23, 1999. This is under a principle that a clean and healthy environment is for the good of all and should therefore be the concern of all. The state shall pursue a policy of balancing development and environmental protection. To achieve this end, the framework of sustainable development shall be pursued. It shall be the policy of the state to formulate a holistic national program of air pollution management that shall be implemented by the government through proper delegation and effective coordination of functions and activities. Encourage cooperation and self-regulation among citizens and industries through the application of market-based instruments. Focus primarily on pollution prevention rather than on control, and provide for a comprehensive management program for air pollution. Promote public information and education, and to encourage the participation of an informed and active public in air quality planning and monitoring. In addition, the state shall formulate and enforce a system of accountability for short-term and long-term adverse environmental impact of a project, program, or activity. This shall include the setting up of a funding or guarantee mechanism for cleanup and environmental rehabilitation and compensation for personal damages. Pursuant to the declared principles, we have here the rights of citizens which are hereby recognized, and the state shall seek to guarantee for their enjoyment. First, we have the citizens have the right to breathe clean air, and second, the right to utilize and enjoy all natural resources according to the principle of sustainable development. Then we have the right to participate in the formulation, planning, implementation, and monitoring of environmental policies and programs, and in the decision-making process. Also, the right to participate in the decision-making process concerning development policies, plans and programs, projects or activities that may have adverse impact on the environment and public health. Moreover, we have the right to be informed of the nature and extent of the potential hazard of any activity, undertaking, or project, and to be served timely notice of any significant rise in the level of pollution and the accidental or deliberate release into the atmosphere of harmful or hazardous substances. And the right of access to public records, which a citizen may need to exercise his or her rights effectively under the Act. Next, we have the right to bring action in court or quasi-judicial bodies to enjoin all activities in violation of environmental laws and regulations, to compel the rehabilitation and cleanup of affected area, and to seek the imposition of penal sanctions against violators of environmental laws. Lastly, the right to bring action in court for compensation of personal damages resulting from the adverse environmental and public health impact of a project or activity. For purposes of this Act, let us first understand a few important terms. First, we have air pollutant. These are any matter found in the atmosphere, other than oxygen, nitrogen, water vapor, carbon dioxide, and inert gases in their natural or normal concentrations. Take note, these are detrimental to health or even to the environment. What is air pollution? This means any alteration of the physical, chemical, or biological properties of the atmospheric air, or any discharge thereto of any liquid, gaseous, or solid substances that will or is likely to create or to render the air resources to be harmful, detrimental, or injurious to public health, safety, or welfare. Ambient air quality guideline values. This is the concentration of air over specified periods classified as short-term and long-term, which are intended to serve as goals for the protection of health or public welfare. These values shall be used as basis for taking positive action and preventing, controlling, or abating air pollution. Ambient air quality. This is the general amount of pollution present in a broad area and refers to the atmosphere's average purity as distinguished from discharge measurements taken at the source of pollution. Certificate of Conformity. This one is issued by the Department of Environment and Natural Resources to a vehicle manufacturer or assembler or importer, certifying that a particular new vehicle or vehicle type meets the requirements provided under this Act and its rules and regulations. The department being referred to under this Act is none other than the Department of Environment and Natural Resources. We have Eco Profile. This is the geographic-based instrument for planners and decision makers, which present an evaluation of the environmental quality and carrying capacity of an area. The word emission is very common to all of us. This means any air contaminant, pollutant, gas stream, or unwanted sound from a known source which is passed into the atmosphere. Greenhouse gases. Those gases that can potentially or can reasonably be expected to induce global warming, which include carbon dioxide, methane, oxides of nitrogen, chlorofluorocarbons, and the like. Hazardous substances are those substances which present either short-term acute hazards or long-term toxicity. For short-term acute hazards such as acute toxicity by ingestion, inhalation, or skin absorption. For long-term toxicity upon repeated exposure such as carcinogenicity. Another is resistance to detoxification process such as biodegradation. The potential to pollute underground or surface waters. Infectious waste means that portion of medical waste that could transmit an infectious disease. Waste being referred to under this Act are the materials generated as a result of patient diagnosis, treatment, or immunization of human beings or animals. The term mobile source, this means any vehicle propelled by or through combustion of carbon-based or other fuel, constructed and operated principally for the conveyance of persons or the transportation of property or goods. While motor vehicles, these are any vehicle propelled by a gasoline or diesel engine or by any means other than human or animal power, constructed and operated principally for the conveyance of persons or the transportation of property or goods in a public highway or street open to public use. New vehicle. This means a vehicle constructed entirely from new parts that has never been sold or registered with the DOTC or with the appropriate agency or authority, and operated on the highways of the Philippines, any foreign state or country. Municipal waste means the waste materials generated from communities within a specific locality. Octane rating or the anti-knock index. This is the rating of the anti-knock characteristic of a grade or type of automotive gasoline. For the octane requirement with respect to automotive gasoline shall refer to the minimum octane rating of such automotive gasoline which such manufacturer recommends for the efficient operation of such motor vehicle or a substantial portion of such class without knocking. Ozone depleting substances. Those substances that significantly deplete or otherwise modify the ozone layer in a manner that is likely to result in adverse effects on human health and the environment. What are POPs? These are persistent organic pollutants, which means the organic compounds that persist in the environment, bioaccumulate through the food web, and the negative effects to human health and the environment. To name few examples, we have here products having polychlorinated biphenyl substance and pesticides. Poisonous and toxic fumes means any emissions and fumes which are beyond internationally accepted standards, including but not limited to World Health Organization guidelines. Pollution control device or any device or apparatus used to prevent, control, or abate the pollution of air caused by emissions from identified pollution sources at levels within the air pollution control standards established by the department. Finally, we have a stationary source. This means any building or immobile structure, facility, or installation which emits or may emit any air pollutant. Some ways to address pollution from stationary sources is the banning on incinerations, that is the burning of municipal, biomedical, and hazardous waste. Also, LGUs are mandated to promote, encourage, and implement in their respective jurisdiction a comprehensive ecological waste management that includes waste segregation, recycling, and composting. Meanwhile, for pollution from motor vehicles, the DOTC shall implement the emission standards for motor vehicles set pursuant to and as provided in the Act. To further improve the emission standards, the department shall review, revise, and publish the standards every 2 years or as the need arises. Any imported new or locally assembled new motor vehicle shall not be registered unless it complies with the emission standards set pursuant to this Act as evidenced by the Certificate of Conformity issued by the Department. In case of non-compliance, the importer or consignee may be allowed to modify or rebuild the vehicle or engine so that it will be in compliance with applicable emission standards.